If you haven't taken the reading test, you have 40 minutes to read 4 passages and answer the questions that go along with those passages. So that's about 8 minutes and 45 seconds per passage. So you don't have a lot of time to sit and ponder. Now, while you're doing this today in this packet, your instructions are to do exactly what I do. So if I circle something, I want you to circle it. If I underline something, I want you to underline it. If I write something, I want you to write it. Okay, this is annotation. Okay, you'll answer the questions after we read the passage together and annotate. The point is to engage with the text so that you won't daydream. And I'm guilty of that as well. If I don't engage with the text, then I am going to daydream. And you only have 8 minutes and 45 seconds per passage, so you really have to focus and use strategies that help you focus. Okay, so our passage today is social science, conservationist, and diplomat, the gray areas of panda conservation. Now, we don't have a lot of time to read, but today I just want to show you some things that you can do quickly while you're reading so that you can have more time to answer the questions. You do need to read the entire passage. I've heard people say, well, I just skim it. Well, that's not how the test is designed. It's not designed to be easy to be able to just skim it. You do need to read the whole passage. Okay, so as I read, you'll do exactly what I do on your packet. Dr. Daejeon Hwang has learned to walk a fine line between advocating for wildlife habitat conservation and advocating for zoos. Hwang has spent hours in the mountains of western China tracking the giant panda, one of the most endangered, elusive, and beloved creatures in the world. So here I might stop and just put Hwang supports zoos and saving wildlife habitats. So you'll write that also. You'll jot that down in the margin. Now on the ACT, you would probably abbreviate because you're trying to read quickly, but get some main points so you'll have points to go back to as you're answering the questions. As a conservation biologist, his ultimate goal is to preserve species in the wild. And animal rights activists say that confining animals in zoos runs counter to this philosophy. In recent years, critics have attacked zoos for spending huge sums of money on breeding endangered species such as giant pandas in captivity, while little is being done to stem the tide of habitat destruction in the wild. So I'll just jot down quickly, activists don't like zoos. Why spend money on zoos? Save where pandas live now. As the National Zoo was preparing to build its new panda habitat, landscape designers consulted with researchers, including Hwang, to learn what the animals need to stay comfortable, happy, and engaged. The new exhibit closely mimics the panda's natural habitat and is more interactive for visitors than was the small spare one originally built in the 70s for the zoo's first pair of pandas, Sing Sing and Ling Ling. So I'll jot down quickly, the National Zoo is building an interactive, more natural place for pandas. Visitors to the new exhibit can try out some of the same features the pandas enjoy, such as a cooling rock that has cold water piped through it to keep the bears comfortable during hot weather, a panda grotto, and a fog grove. So here I'll just put, here are some features in the exhibit. At the National Zoo in Washington, D.C., the latest product of these breeding efforts, a 4-month-old giant panda named Bao Bao, is now on view to the public, and her fuzzy baby antics are attracting so many visitors that the zoo has extended its weekend hours to accommodate them all. The pandas at the National Zoo are easy for visitors to see thanks to the 2006 opening of a 12,000 square foot state-of-the-art habitat. Wang sees this new habitat as part of a positive trend in zoo design, with new elements that are making a difference in conservation. So I'll jot down, Bao Bao lives in a new habitat in the zoo. It attracts lots of visitors, helps them see effects of conservation. What Wang likes best about the exhibit, however, are the decision stations that teach visitors about habitat loss and conservation efforts. His research has shown that human development, which has shrunk the panda's natural habitat and broken it up into small parcels, is the main threat to the bear's survival in the wild. The decision stations give visitors a taste of what it's like to weigh economic decisions against the need to preserve panda habitats, and Wang says this experience helps them understand that the problem is a wider socioeconomic one that biologists can't solve on their own. So I'll jot down quickly, Wang likes that decision stations teach people about habitat loss and conservation efforts. Wang is concerned about all the animals affected by habitat loss, not just pandas, and he understands the argument of the growing number of critics who say that the focus on pandas means that too much money is being spent on a single species. However, he's also quick to point out the importance of animals such as pandas that can serve as ambassadors for conservation. The giant panda is an example of what scientists call charismatic megafauna. Because of its universal appeal, it was chosen as the icon for the World Wildlife Federation and has become a symbol for endangered species worldwide. So I might jot down, Wang worries about habitat loss for all animals. Critics don't like the focus on pandas, but Wang said they are a worldwide symbol for endangered species. In Chinese culture, pandas have long been symbols of peace and diplomacy, says Wang. He sees their role within the animal kingdom in the same way. Just as gifts of pandas have helped China negotiate diplomatic relations in years past, so too the bears now bring attention to conservation issues, and the money and research that they generate benefit other species as well. Panda conservation funds have made possible the construction of corridors of wild land that connect isolated remaining parcels of habitat, providing the pandas with better access to land as well as to each other. In recent years, the wild panda population has begun to increase, indicating that the corridors are working. The corridors have also helped the snow leopard, another endangered species that shares the panda's habitat. Wang characterizes the corridors as rivers, where water can easily flow instead of isolated ponds that are constantly in danger of drying out. So I might write, his work teaches people about conservation of panda habitats, benefits many species. Example, the construction of corridors, which are rivers. Now what I'm underlining are things that come to my attention that I think are important. So as you read, it's just up to you to decide how you annotate and what you annotate for. Really, you're looking for main ideas. The panda's black and white fur is understood in China to be a physical manifestation of the idea of yin and yang, the balance of positive and negative energy in the world. Wang sees this idea as also integral to the future success of conservation efforts. He stresses the need to find balance between spending money on breeding cute baby pandas and addressing the underlying human behaviors that have endangered the panda in the first place. So would just jot down, Wang believes there needs to be a balance between breeding pandas and addressing how humans have endangered them. Now notice that I abbreviated, and you're not going to write complete sentences because you don't have time to do that. But these main points in the margin will just help you answer the questions more quickly. Even Wang is not immune, though, to the charms of the giant pandas he studies. He is best known among the general public for a YouTube video in which he plays with a panda cub, whose mother he had been tracking. The mother panda got so accustomed to Wang following her that on one occasion she left him in charge of her cub while she went to feed. One of Wang's colleagues captured the remarkable event on video. Though babysitting panda cubs isn't the focus of Wang's research, he doesn't mind the attention he's received from the video. That was the best time in my life. So I might just jot down, Wang has videos of himself with a mother panda he has tracked. Okay, I just want to go through the questions and just want you to make a note of some things. So if I underline something or I make a note of it, I want you to do the same. Okay, so number 1, the main purpose of the passage is to underline main purpose. Okay, this means what is the whole passage about? Sometimes you'll have questions, what is the main purpose of the paragraph? Okay, it's asking what is the whole thing about? Okay, number 2, put a box around except. Okay, and write this note. Go find the proof. The answer is there. We made an annotation quickly that said the features of the exhibit, so you could go straight there and find the answer. Okay, number 3, the phrase in quotation marks in line 49 most nearly means that pandas. Okay, so underline most nearly means that pandas, and then you'll go find the answer. Okay, number 4, the 6th paragraph, lines 52 to 67, primarily does which of the following regarding Wang's work and the panda exhibit at the National Zoo? So you can go straight there and make sure that you're focused on primarily does which of the following regarding Wang's work and the panda exhibit. Okay, that's what you got to focus on. Okay, number 5, you see the same thing, the main purpose. What is the whole paragraph about when you go to that paragraph? Okay, number 6, based on the passage, the critics claim that zoos spend too much money on breeding pandas in captivity is best described as. Okay, so you'll have to think about this, but you need to focus on what you've underlined. Okay, number 7, in the passage, Wang says that public interest in pandas is. So put a box around public interest, because we talked about different types of people in this passage, but we need to focus on public interest. Okay, number 8, Wang is said to have reacted to a mother panda leaving him to watch over her cub with. So underline that part. You need to look in the paragraph that discusses this. They're not going to say Wang reacted like this. Okay, it does not say the emotion outright, but it does tell you his reaction. So you need to go find that. Okay, number 9, the characterization of which of the following is used in the passage to illustrate the effect of the construction of wildlife corridors. Okay, I want you to make a note of this. Write this down. It literally says in a paragraph how Wang characterizes the corridors. So a lot of these questions are very easy. You've just got to be able to quickly find the answer. And if you've read the passage and annotated, then you can do that. Okay, and I need you to fill in. Do not leave any blanks. You are not penalized if you fill in the wrong answer. You're penalized for blanks. Okay, so fill in any blanks before time is called and make sure you watch the time. Okay, so you'll complete the next article by circling names, putting a box around dates, underlining important facts. You should not underline every word. You're just picking out important words that will help you to understand and to jot down the main idea.